Hello, and welcome back. Alright, so we're getting back into Super Mario Odyssey, and I actually got notification from the choir director right before starting stream that there's no choir tonight, which means that I actually can go long. So, next objective, collect more power moons. Presently, we're finished in the Cap Kingdom, so it's time to move on. Head off to another kingdom? Yes. We're off to the Cascade Kingdom. This is the one kingdom that I mistakenly failed to actually read the brochure for. Oh. The moon rock here is glowing too. Let's be sure to check that. Alright, Cascade Kingdom. Land of waterfalls and natural treasures. Fossil Falls, the last holdout of history. Population unknown, size tall, locals unknown, currency stone discs, industry unknown, temperature average 84 Fahrenheit. A tall drink of water. There are many waterfalls in the Cascade Kingdom, but the area known as Fossil Falls is the special one. There are few sights in nature as grand as the millions of gallons of water pouring every second out of this giant Triceratops skeleton. Nature in balance. The stone spire standing near the Great Falls has miraculously remained balanced upright in this position, presumably for eons. Of particular interest are the cubes of unknown material embedded in the stone. These cubes are the reason for the common theory that the spire somehow fell from the sky. While this theory is difficult to prove, it is equally hard to doubt when looking at this miraculous stone structure. Natural patterns, the fossil. If you look closely at the stone walls, you will notice fossils mixed in. Think of it as nature's mosaic, and remember it always. The ancient wall. No ordinary cliff face, this structure was carved out painstakingly over many long years by people unknown. The wall is composed mainly of fossils, and evidence suggests it has been broken many times, causing some to suggest that something is buried inside. Visitors are encouraged to explore the mysteries surrounding the Great Barrier, if they dare. The prehistoric tyrant. The biggest draw for tourists to this area is that dinosaurs still live here. Many people willingly put themselves at considerable risk for a glimpse of the ancient, terrible lizards. T-Rex, most terrible of all dinosaurs, can pulverize a boulder with a single blow. On the other hand, most people don't realize how much time they spend napping. An old, odd structure. No one knows how a Bonneton-style structure got buried here. Balancers travel often, so they may have lived here in the past. It is a helpful landmark if you get lost, though. Old, but not as ancient as its surroundings. 3 keys to the kingdom. Experience the glory of nature with the eye-popping Great Falls. See dinosaurs, prehistoric rulers of a bygone age. Find treasures of the past. Tucked away everywhere you look. Under the old electrical pole. I believe that's it for the kingdom. Only one thing left, and I can't grab it from here. New products added to the shop. Head off to another kingdom? Yes. Off to the Sand Kingdom. Hello, I'm Dragon Rider Luke. I'm a Christian streamer, and I'm always up for a friendly chat about my faith. I also think that it's important that people read or hear the Word of God frequently, so the next 5 minutes or so will be a chapter from the Bible. Joshua 13. When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, "You are now very old, and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. This is the land that remains, all the regions of the Philistines and the Geshurites, from the Shihor River on the east of Egypt to the territory of Ekron on the north. All of it counted as Canaanite, though held by the 5 Philistine rulers in Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron. The territory of the Avites on the south, all the land of the Canaanites from Era of the Sidonians as far as Aphek and the border of the Amorites, the area of Byblos, and all Lebanon to the east, from Balgad below Mount Hermon to Lebo Hamath. As for the inhabitants of the mountain regions from Lebanon to Misrephoth Maim, that is, all the Sidonians, I myself will drive them out before Israelites. Be sure to allocate this land to Israel for an inheritance, as I have instructed you, and divide it as an inheritance among the 9 tribes and half of the tribe of Manasseh. The other half of Manasseh, the Reubenites and the Gadites, had received the inheritance that Moses had given them east of the Jordan, as he, the servant of the Lord, had assigned it to them. It extended from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, from the town in the middle of the gorge, and included the whole plateau of Medeba as far as Dibon, and all the towns of Sihon king of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon, out to the border of the Ammonites. It also included Gilead, the territory of the people of Jeshur and Makkah, and all of Mount Hermon and all of Bashan as far as Salakah, that is, the whole kingdom of Og and Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He was the last of the Rephaites. Moses had defeated them and taken over their land, but the Israelites did not drive out the people of Jeshur and Makkah, so they continue to live among the Israelites to this day. But to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance, since the food offerings presented to the Lord, the God of Israel, are their inheritance, as he promised them. This is what Moses had given to the tribe of Reuben, according to its clans. The territory from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, and from the town in the middle of the gorge, the whole plateau past Medeba to Heshbon and all its towns on the plateau, including Dibon, Bamoth-Baal, Beth-Baal, Maon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephath, Kiriathaim, Sibma, Zerath Shahar on the hill in the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimon, all the towns on the plateau, and the entire realm of Sihon king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon. Moses had defeated him and the Midianite chiefs, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, princes allied with Sihon, who lived in that country. In addition to those slain in battle, the Israelites had put to the sword Balaam son of Beor, who practiced divination, The boundary of the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the Reubenites, according to their clans. This is what Moses had given the tribe of Gad, according to its clans. The territory of Jazer, all the towns of Gilead and half the Ammonite country as far as Aroer, near Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpah and Betonim, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Debir, and in the valley Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon, with the rest of the realm of Sihon king of Heshbon, the east side of the Jordan, the territory up to the end of the Sea of Galilee. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the Gadites according to their clans. This is what Moses had given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, that is, to half the family of the descendants of Manasseh, according to its clans. Territory extending from Mahanaim and including all of Bashan, the entire realm of Og, king of Bashan, all the settlements of Jair and Bashan, 60 towns, half of Gilead, and Ashtaroth and Edrei, the royal cities of Og and Bashan. This was for the descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, for half of the sons of Machir, according to their clans. This is the inheritance Moses had given when he was in the plains of Moab, across the Jordan east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses had given no inheritance. The Lord, the God of Israel, is their inheritance, as he promised them. May God bless the reading of his word. Alright, into the Sand Kingdom. Where's this one's moon rock? The moon rock here is glowing too. Let's be sure to chuck that.
today. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. Marble machine is dropping marbles today. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. There's a long way to go. We're not ready now. moves too slow. Music is the goal, a long way to go. We're not ready now. The moves too slow. Music is the goal.
New products added to the shop. The Odyssey has powered up. Now we can fly over to the dark side. I think so that makes us real explorers now. We could do that, but next up is the Wooded Kingdom, because that's where Peach is going next, then she's going to the lake. Oh well. Wrong order, but oh well. Wooded Kingdom is next. So I'm gonna go ahead and go there, so that I have that ready. Actually, oh whatever. Too late now. Where is your cube? Moonrock here is glowing too. Let's be sure to check that. You know what, I'll go ahead and grab the Moonrock, and then we're going to... just since I know where it is right now. Oh, never mind. It's marked on the map. So that's going to be it for today. There we go. So when we come back next time, Wooded Kingdom and Lake Kingdom, probably. At any rate, that's going to be all for today, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.